Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Chat Studio. I'm really happy you're here with us today. If this is your first time listening, I'm Naina, and I absolutely love helping people learn natural English in a simple and relaxed way.
And I'm Manon. It's lovely to have you with us again. Honestly, today's topic is one that many English learners find confusing at first, but once you understand it, your English starts sounding much more natural.
Exactly. Today, we're talking about the past continuous tense. This tense is everywhere in real conversations. People use it when they tell stories, explain situations, or describe actions happening in the past.
Right. For example, you might hear someone say, I was walking home when it started raining, or she was studying while her brother was watching television.
Oh, yes, and I use this tense all the time without even thinking about it. Yesterday, I was making tea while listening to music, and suddenly I realized I was singing very loudly in the kitchen.
That sounds brilliant. I'm sure the neighbors enjoyed the concert.
I'm not sure about that. But, moments like that are perfect examples of the past continuous tense in daily life.
By the end of this episode, you'll know how to form the tense, when to use it naturally, and how to avoid common mistakes that learners often make.
We'll also practice real-life examples together so you can feel more confident speaking English in conversations.
And here's today's question for everyone listening. What were you doing yesterday evening? Try writing one sentence in the comments using the past continuous tense.
Yes, don't worry about perfection. Just try. Practice is the key to improvement.
Also, if you enjoy learning English with calm and friendly conversations, make sure to subscribe to English Chat Studio so you don't miss our next lessons.
All right then, grab a cup of tea, relax, and let's start learning together.
Let's begin with the basic structure of the past continuous tense.
So first, let's make the structure really simple. The past continuous tense uses this formula: subject plus was or were plus verb with ing.
Exactly. For example, I was reading. They were playing. She was cooking. It's actually much easier than many learners think.
Right. We usually use this tense for actions that were happening at a specific time in the past. The action was in progress.
Let's look at some clear examples. I was walking to work at 8 o'clock. We were watching a film last night. He was talking on the phone. They were studying for their exams.
And notice something important here. The action was continuing for some time. It wasn't just one quick action.
That's true. If I say, I watched television, that's simple past. But if I say, I was watching television, it gives the feeling of an ongoing action.
Exactly. That small difference changes the feeling of the sentence completely.
I remember last winter, I was traveling by train when the train suddenly stopped because of heavy snow.
Oh, wow. That sounds stressful.
It was. Everyone was looking out the windows trying to understand what was happening.
See? That's another excellent example. Everyone was looking. The action continued for a period of time.
Now, let's talk directly to our listeners. Can you make a sentence with was studying? Say it out loud.
Maybe something like, I was studying English last night.
Perfect. Or, my friend was studying at the library.
You can also use time expressions like yesterday evening, at 7 p.m., last night, or while.
Yes, at 9 p.m. I was eating dinner. Very natural.
Now, let's look at negative sentences. This part is easy too. You simply add not after was or were.
For example, I was not sleeping. Or in natural conversation, I wasn't sleeping.
And they were not working becomes they weren't working.
British English speakers use contractions constantly in conversation, so try practicing them naturally.
Definitely. If you speak too formally all the time, your English can sound a bit stiff.
Here's a funny example. Once I called my friend late at night, and he answered very slowly. I asked, "Were you sleeping?" And he said, "No, I was just thinking deeply."
That probably meant he was sleeping.
Oh, definitely.
Now, let's practice questions. Questions are simple too. You just move was or were to the beginning.
Were you watching TV? Was she driving? Were they waiting outside?
Try repeating after us. What were you doing yesterday evening?
Great question for daily conversation, actually.
Yes, native speakers ask that all the time.
Listeners, write your answer in the comments. We'd love to read your examples.
And remember, mistakes are completely normal. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
So to quickly review this section, past continuous equals was or were plus verb ing, and we use it for actions continuing in the past.
Now, let's move into real-life usage, because this is where the tense becomes really useful.
One of the most common uses of the past continuous is when one action interrupts another action.
Right. For example, I was cooking dinner when my friend called me.
Or we were walking home when it started raining.
This structure appears everywhere in storytelling.
Exactly. When English speakers tell stories, they often mix past continuous with simple past.
The past continuous gives background information, while the simple past shows the shorter action.
That's a very important point.
Let's do a mini conversation. What were you doing when the lights went out?
I was reading a book when suddenly everything became dark.
Very natural. Here's another one. What was your sister doing when you arrived home?
She was talking to her friend on the phone.
You know, this tense also helps conversations sound more descriptive and interesting.
Definitely. Instead of saying, I met Tom yesterday, you can say, I was walking through town when I met Tom.
It creates a clearer picture in the listener's mind.
Another common use is describing two actions happening at the same time in the past.
Such as, I was cooking while my brother was washing the dishes.
Or she was studying while her friends were playing football.
Let's give our listeners a quick practice activity.
All right, complete this sentence. I was listening to music while...
Maybe, I was listening to music while I was cleaning my room.
Perfect. Here's another one for everyone listening. They were laughing while...
They were laughing while they were watching a funny film.
Very good. And don't forget to say these sentences aloud. Speaking practice matters so much.
Absolutely. Even if you're sitting alone at home, speaking aloud helps your confidence.
Now let's talk about formal and informal English for a moment.
In casual conversation, people often shorten sentences. For example, what were you doing becomes what were you doing in very fast speech. You can also hear
Right, although learners should first focus on clear pronunciation before copying very fast native speech.
Exactly. Clarity first, speed later.
Here are 3 useful tips. First, always remember was for singular subjects, like I, he, she, and it.
Second, use were for you, we, and they.
Third, don't forget the ing form of the verb.
Great tips.
Also, try noticing this tense while watching films or listening to podcasts. You'll hear it everywhere.
Especially in storytelling scenes.
Before we continue, tell us in the comments, what were you doing at 8 p.m. yesterday?
Yes, we genuinely love to read your examples and help you practice naturally.
So in this section, we learned how past continuous works in stories, interruptions, and simultaneous actions.
Exactly. And now we're ready to explore how native speakers use it naturally in everyday conversation.
All right, now let's focus on sounding more natural and conversational.
This is honestly one of my favorite parts because grammar becomes much more interesting when it feels real.
I agree. Native speakers don't think about grammar formulas while talking. They simply use patterns naturally.
For example, imagine someone asks, "Why didn't you answer your phone?"
A very natural reply could be, "Sorry, I was driving."
Short, simple, and completely natural.
Or if someone says, "I knocked on your door earlier," you might answer, "Oh, I was taking a shower."
Exactly.
Another thing learners should notice is emotional tone. The past continuous can make stories sound softer or more descriptive.
That's true. Compare these two sentences. I dropped my coffee, and I was carrying my coffee when I dropped it. The second one sounds more vivid and detailed. Let's practice some realistic situations. Situation 1. Your friend asks why you looked tired yesterday. You could say, I was working late last night. Situation 2. Someone asks why your clothes were wet. I was walking home in the rain. Situation 3. Your teacher asks why you didn't hear the question. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. Very natural responses. Here's a pronunciation tip too. Try connecting words smoothly. Instead of saying I was eating, many speakers naturally say I was eaten. British speakers often reduce sounds in fast conversation. Right, but again, focus on being understandable first. Let's do a little shadowing practice together. Great idea. Great idea.
Repeat after me. I was watching television when my friend called.
Excellent. Now try, they were waiting for the bus.
And one more. She was studying while listening to music.
Nice work. You know, storytelling becomes much more interesting when you use this tense correctly.
Definitely. Imagine telling a holiday story. We were walking along the beach when we saw dolphins.
That sounds lovely, actually. Much better than only using short, simple past sentences again and again.
Here's another comment challenge for everyone listening. Write one sentence about what you were doing last weekend.
Keep it simple and natural.
Also, don't be afraid to repeat sentences many times while practicing.
Repetition really helps fluency.
Sometimes I repeat useful phrases while making breakfast.
That's actually a brilliant habit.
And learners should remember that confidence grows slowly. Nobody becomes fluent overnight.
Exactly. Every small practice session matters.
So, in this section, we focused on natural conversation, emotional tone, pronunciation, and storytelling.
And hopefully everyone's feeling much more comfortable with the past continuous now.
All right, now let's talk about some very common mistakes learners make with this tense.
Oh, yes. These mistakes are extremely common, so don't worry if you've made them before.
First mistake, forgetting was or were.
For example, some learners say, I studying yesterday.
But the correct sentence is, I was studying yesterday.
The verb ing alone is not enough.
Second mistake, using the wrong verb form.
Some people say, I was studying English.
The correct version is, I was studying English.
Always remember the ing ending.
Third mistake, confusing simple past and past continuous.
For example, I watched TV when he called.
That sentence isn't completely wrong, but I was watching TV when he called sounds more natural because the action was already happening.
Exactly. Past continuous creates background action.
Another mistake is overusing the tense.
Yes, not every past sentence needs past continuous.
For example, yesterday I was eating breakfast and was brushing my teeth and was opening the door. That can sound unnatural.
Native speakers usually mix different tenses naturally.
Here's a funny example. Once my friend said, I was sleeping when I was hearing a loud noise.
Yes. That sounds awkward because hear is usually not used in continuous forms like that.
A more natural sentence is, I was sleeping when I heard a loud noise.
Exactly.
Listeners, here's a quick practice. Which one sounds correct? They were play football or they were playing football?
Of course, the correct answer is they were playing football. And remember, mistakes are part of learning. Every fluent speaker once made beginner mistakes too. Definitely. Nobody speaks perfectly all the time. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes sometimes. That's true.
So don't feel embarrassed. Keep practicing and improving little by little.
Exactly. Progress matters more than perfection.
All right, everyone. Now it's time for a quick interactive practice activity.
We're going to give you 2 sentences, and you choose the correct one.
First question. Which sentence is correct? I was cook dinner, or I was cooking dinner.
The correct answer is, I was cooking dinner.
Good. Number 2. They were watch a movie, or They were watching a movie.
Correct answer? They were watching a movie.
Number 3. She was sleeping when I called. Or she slept when I called.
The better answer here is she was sleeping when I called.
Excellent. Number 4. We were steady together. Or we were studying together.
Definitely the second one.
Number 5. What were you doing yesterday? Or what did you doing yesterday?
Correct answer? What were you doing yesterday?
Great work, everyone.
Now try creating your own sentence using while.
Maybe I was drinking tea while reading a book.
Lovely example.
And remember, speaking aloud helps much more than silent reading.
Yes, train your mouth, not only your eyes.
English becomes natural through regular speaking practice.
Exactly. Real conversation matters more than memorizing long grammar rules.
Well, everyone, today we covered a lot together.
We learned the basic structure of the past continuous tense, how to use it in real-life situations, and how to sound more natural while speaking.
We also practiced storytelling, interruptions, simultaneous actions, and common daily conversations.
And we discussed some common mistakes so you can avoid them more confidently.
If today's lesson helped you, keep practicing with your own daily examples.
Even 1 or 2 sentences every day can make a huge difference over time.
Here's one final question before we go. What were you doing at this time yesterday? Write your answer in the comments.
We always enjoy reading your responses.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English Chat Studio for more natural English lessons and relaxed podcast conversations.
Thanks for spending time with us today. Keep learning, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep enjoying the process.
Your English journey takes time, and that's completely all right.
Cheers, everyone, and see you next time.